This week, the Leicestershire County School of Music have been holding a music festival. The final concert was given last Friday by the children of the senior orchestra, conducted by Michael Tippett. The orchestra, which was founded in 1948 by the county music advisor, Eric Pinkett, is composed entirely of children from schools in the county. Every year they hold a festival and they invite some well-known musician to work with them, which is not only a wonderful experience for the children, but it's also a measure of the standard of their playing, a standard which is gaining recognition not only here but abroad. In fact, in August, they're holding a series of concerts in Berlin. But for last week's festival, the children took beds, baggage, musical instruments, and teachers down to the village of Corsham in Wiltshire, home of composer Michael Tippett, to spend their Easter holidays rehearsing with him.
Let's get started. Right. All your repeated notes from the bar before 23, you see, the second orchestra has and you have nothing but repeated notes. You can take them out without any, you can make them inaudible, you see. In other words, you've just got to take 23 down. Don't overdo these repeated notes. I'm not looking at you, I'm looking at this lot. Trying to get them across above you. It's a little bit, I would have, if I were writing it now, 20 years later, I'd rescore it in a sense. I would take some of you away and put you over here in sound to try and produce this result. So you've got to do it artificially by taking down the 40, whatever you've got to by then. 40, double 40 in fact. Taking down the double 40, 23, bring it down to about a piano and more. Always be below this lot. Now, you miss, and when I do, I don't mean you to make the quaver rest less. This is only to try and give this accent on it, you see, but I'd make you hurry. Did that 3 bars after 23. That's not what I'm really meaning by. Now, we'll do the big tune, or sort of kind of tune, after 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Long crotchets are great thing. Think of the quaver rest as only a breath mark. Ta-yum, ta-tam, ta-dum, ta-tam. So that you make it one long thing with only just time to take the quaver rest as though you were breathing. Right? 5 after 23. Go. 1. No. Along the second crotchet, you see. Yum, dum, da, 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 dee, da, da. Hang it on. Lay it. Rather than take it off. Right? Yum. That's got it.
Working with Michael Tippett's absolutely terrific. Working with Michael Tippett. It's a bit of a scream, really, because, I mean, everything you do, he seems to find everything amusing. He gets the best out of you. You'll see what he thinks.
Very much better, miles better. Very nice, Beckworth. Now, this is where we go wrong, you see. That really is piano. And if that you're playing about mezzo forte, you see, I cannot get the cellos over. I cannot get that cello marked vocal forte unless you can keep that piano. You don't do the piano. Let's get the dynamics right. So you've got the notes right. After 23, a double 40. So it's after 23, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars. Double 40. Diminuendo 2 bars, right down the piano and stay piano. Okay? 8 bar 23. Right, go.
We start rehearsals at about 10 o'clock. We usually start in sections. Sometimes we start in sections and sometimes for orchestra.
2, 3, 4, don't get...
Well, it really started off when I met Mr. Pinkett, and he found that I was a pianist. He said I ought to do something else, and so he suggested percussion. No, there's a feeling of having everybody going along with you because you've got the rhythm. And it feels that everybody's with you all the time. But there's more feeling of rhythm in modern music. In my opinion, we're doing too much modern music. I think Mr. Finkett has brought this music into our repertoire to try and broaden our outlook. Because when we get older, it'll be the music of our generation. I prefer the classics, but on the other hand, we're living in a modern age and we've really got to live with the times.
We play a lot of modern music, and I suppose that's grown as the years have passed because there's a desire for it amongst the young player. I think possibly we're now doing perhaps a little too much of it, and we ought to be doing more of Mozart, but it's a good fault anyhow.
I'm not really keen on this modern stuff that he does with lots of different rhythms. I still prefer the older type music, more classical.
I think Mr. Finkett sometimes works us rather too hard, but apart from that, I think he's the driving force of the orchestra, and without him we wouldn't be anything.
D, right, go. Now, my feeling is that you're biting into it more. Too much. Too much? Yum. Chum is what you want, or tum?
No, I want more.
You want more bite?
Yeah.
You're right and I'm wrong. Jolly good
But
for
this
you.
is a romantic tune, you see.
But you want the bite into the string,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You shall. But also think of it, don't bite the strings off. Right?
I think Alan Riddart's Symphony is definitely good for the orchestra, and it gets right into the spirit of the orchestra.
Let's get this night, so that he's satisfied, right? Go. Yum. When you have to sustain. It's Passionia, apparently. He's pleased. He said it sounds like Hollywood. Now let's have violas. Now don't take away the Hollywood impression. Right, violas, you just run below that in a calm way. Or passionate way, but not too violent. Right? D, go. Yum.
Well, the new symphony has been written specially for this occasion by this young chap, Alan Riddart. He has written a lucid, as I call it, crystal clear score with a very limitations of emotions. He's not asking for a variety of sophisticated emotions, but a great clarity. Now, this, I would say, is tailored exactly to what the children have.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1. No, Maya. It's always not a frightful jamboree. I think, my own instinct tells me, but it's actually he won't agree with this, that, that'll fall off, that you are too strong, violas. You see, you've got an easy thing to do, to sit on those notes, and I'd rather have them not there. That's what I want to hear. Letter E. Take this away. Just hold notes. And the same thing goes for that, whatever it is, high trombone. Keep it quiet, will you? On the held F-sharp note. Right, let's have letter E. Letter E. Whew. Go. 1.
I think working with Michael Tippett is very inspiring. I think his attitude, he's much more friendly than some of the people we've had before. They've looked down on us terribly, but... and he puts you more at ease, I think.
I don't know. You want more noise?
As loud as they could.
Oh dear, horns are going to be... They're complaining. He's complaining that he would quite like a little bit more from this double 40, but I dare say you didn't know you were going on. So that means that when you reach the double 40, horns, what's it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 after E. Chop, chop. Come out a bit. E, please. E again.
I picked the trumpet because I went to see the film Genevieve. Kay Kendall playing the trumpet in it. I saw that when I was about 5. So I find on a course like this I get worn out very quickly. So I have to say to myself, well, you've got to carry on playing and get on with it. And it works.
I've only ever heard one girl play the trombone, and she was above me in the junior orchestra, and I thought she was quite good, but she left. It was a year before she was supposed to join the seniors. I prefer to hear a boy playing brass than girls.
Well, I've been a member of the orchestra for the last 5 years, in fact, as far as I can remember. And it's almost takes up most of my spare time. Everything I do is really connected with the orchestra, and all my friends are in the orchestra.
Letting you, here we go, right. I don't think there's ever been any occasion when anyone has told us that the demands of making all this music has interfered with the education of the children. Certainly it's interfered with the time, or some of their time, but I think that would have been really spare time. In other words, I don't think that if these children weren't playing their instruments, they'd be doing homework. I think they'd probably be running up and down the streets, and I'm not sure that would be a better thing. So I don't think, and I certainly by the results that we've noticed in their O-levels and A-levels, certainly there's been no possible interference with their work. As an observer watching Michael Tippett, it's grand. He's so much one of them. He is quite superb with an orchestra. I love every moment of it.
It's an enjoyable life, really. You know, I love music. You know, there's an opportunity to meet kind of people. There's a great social life with it. When we're not playing, we can go out anywhere around about into the village. Or, of course, if you're the very studious type, you practice. Everything you do, of course, helps you, in later life. And this music will help me, of course, because, I mean, there's a different aspect of pleasure, for one thing.
The social life of the orchestra is not just entirely down to music. I find they're not narrow-minded.
In being a member of the orchestra, you get a lot of experience mixing with people, and it broadens your outlook, and you kind of look into other people's minds. We always have some sort of combined sports. Football, usually staff versus boys, which is rather amusing.
When the orchestra was in Lowestoft, there was a talent competition down on the beach one day, and so a few of the boys got together and formed a quick jazz band. They went down and played in it, won the first prize.
Quite a few interests outside music. I do art, but I also enjoy dancing. I like blues and modern jazz. Well, it's a good opportunity, to get together and enjoy ourselves.
feel that if the double concerto had been recent, and I had now especially written something for the children, that I might, when I got there, be so interested in what I was doing as a composer, how I was creating my music, that I would listen to the sounds in that way, criticizing them in that way, and perhaps forget that I was there really to train children to do music as written. Now, the double concerto, being 25 years old, is for me so far in the past, so complete and entire, it has to live or die as best it can. I don't want to change it at all. So that I can come to it and perform it and work with them with the same nonchalance or the same care which I would work with any classical work.
I think he's the best conductor we've ever had, and I think he'll do the most for the orchestra. He's got such a marvellous personality. He's always bursting with fun and vigour. He's so alive.
Michael Tippett has managed to give the orchestra, and me personally, a new outlook on music, really. It's quite marvellous, really, to meet the actual composer of the music we're playing and to see his way of working.
Working with Michael Tippett, you get to know his music and you understand modern music. Well, you don't think of it as being very weird and peculiar. Modern music becomes, well, you enjoy it more. And he's a very wonderful man to work with.
I've enjoyed working with Michael Tippett. I think he's one of the greatest men I've met. Certainly one of the greatest musicians. He's got a way of putting over the music. It's I've not seen it equalled in anybody before.
Now, in modern music, a lot of it is drier, much more sort of factual and practical. Now, this they like enormously. They enjoy doing it, but of course it does expose the instrument to a clarity of ear. There are certain things which they find in the old people, which are the big sweep, the romantic emotions, and the fact that the scoring is so rich that they can all play without you as a listener being fussed by the result, because so much of it can go into a kind of single stream of music.